The substitution, his substitution. That's salvation. You should believe that Christ, who was sinless, the Son of God, substituted himself. You had the right to, you were condemned. It was your place on the cross. You belonged there. Not Jesus. You belong there. But he substituted himself. He replaced us, our place on the cross, with him in our place. And so it is in our Christian life today. So it is with the flesh today. So it is with every weakness and contradictory evidence of the flesh. He replaces it with the evidence of the Spirit, with the evidence of the earnestness of the down payment, with the evidence of the new life. Amen? We walk by faith, not by sight. That's what it is to believe. That is what it is to live by faith. That's how you live, is through faith, by entrusting your life to God, allowing him to regulate it, allowing him to give you the right conduct, allowing him to make every use, to make due use, to make progress in your life, to make one's way, to progress. But see, we don't make our way. It's God's way. For him, once again, for Jesus to make his way, to make progress in our lives, to make due use of every opportunity. Why? To draw us closer to him, to eliminate those things that would hinder us from being close to him. You see, do you see yourselves? Most of us see ourselves. We understand. We see our weaknesses. We're overcome sometimes by our weaknesses. But we have an opportunity to allow Jesus to form us once again. Allow him to regulate us once again. Through faith. Through what we believe in here, in your heart. Not with the eye, you see. People can look at your life and say, well, gee, you got this, and that. But do you see also the person's heart? Do you see that they earnestly groan, desire for change? That they've placed it in God's hands? You see, it's tough sometimes for other people to look at your life. They can see only what they see with the heart, with the eye. But if they'll look, and that's what discerning of spirits, of course, is, but that's righteous judgment. If they'll look into the heart, they'll see that the earnestness is there. Earnestly desiring, verse 2, that they earnestly desire to be clothed with the new life. Do you see that? You see, I see myself changed. I see myself like Jesus. You have to see yourself like that. We already said you identify the weakness, but then you give it to him. You allow him to regulate it. You allow him to replace it. It says he gives you the oil of joy for mourning. See, God is in the replacement business. He's in the, I hate to say pawn shop business, but he's the best trader that ever could be. He's willing to trade, he's willing to take and trade your flesh and give you his spirit, to give you his life. He's willing to take and trade, he'll take your unbelief and he'll give you faith for unbelief. He'll give you love for hate. He'll give you joy for unhappiness. He'll give you peace for strife. But you have to see it. You have to believe it. You have to go for it. You have to earnestly, it says earnestly, desire it. That was what was said in verse 2. Earnestly desire to be clothed with the new life. And then place it on the altar. Give him yours and he gives you his. Amen? And that's how we're to live. That's how our lives are regulated. Walk by faith. Are you walking by what you see today? Or are you... See, to be seen, this word seen here in John 20:29 says, it says to see with the eye, of course, But also it said there's two other meanings: to see with the mind, to perceive, to know, to become acquainted with by experience. Seeing, we walk by faith, but not by sight, is that which we see with the mind, perceive, know. Do you perceive, see with your mind today? Are you walking by faith and not by what you see? Are you living with what you see, by what you see with your mind, what you perceive with your mind, what you know with your mind and your heart? You see that if you follow this, you become acquainted with it by experience. He'll change it just from a belief to an experience. And then you'll see it with the eye. And then others will see it with their eye. You see it with the eye of faith. They call it the eye of faith. God makes it reality in your life. And then others see it also. You become acquainted with it by experience. It's no longer just a hope, a desire, a prayer, but it has become, Jesus has become reality in your life. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, meekness, temperance, faith has become reality in your life. No longer is the flesh reality, but Jesus is reality. Jesus is real to you. The life of Christ is real to you. Walking in the Spirit is real to you. Being led by the Spirit has become real to you. Evidence is, the fruits of the Spirit is another word to say it, is a phrase to say it. It's the evidence of the Spirit of God. Evidence of Jesus in your life. Evidence of the Spirit of God leading. Evidence of the Spirit of God working in your life. You see, at some point, it becomes reality. At some point, that which you have prayed, yes, we walk by faith, not by sight, becomes reality. At some point, what you hoped for, what you prayed for, it says given substance to things. Faith is a substance of things. It gives substance to what you hope for. It's the evidence of things that can only be seen first in the eye, in the realm of the Spirit. You see, at some point it becomes real. At some point you become acquainted. It says, so you must first see it with the mind, or perceive it. Perceive what? That it's for you. That God's for you. That what He has done is for you. That what He is working in your life is for your own good. God always has your best interest in mind. He never goes through, put you down. He may bring to light. He may convict. He does convict, not may. And He does reveal the flesh when necessary. But it's not to put you down. It's not to discourage you. It's so that you might reach out with your eye of faith. Amen. Trust Him. That you might give Him the regulation of it. Amen. That you might allow Him to make due use of every opportunity. What? To manifest Himself again. To live once more through you again. Amen. But you see, at some point, we walk by faith and not by sight. At some point, it becomes sight. At some point, the life of Christ becomes real. At some point, God's peace becomes real in your life. At some point, it should become real. You should become acquainted with it. You should see it. And you will, if you don't give up. You will, if you continue to let God regulate your life. Allow Jesus to regulate it. Allow the Spirit of God to lead you, to work on you, to change you, to replace flesh with spirit, to replace love, or replace hate with love. Amen?